Hey Samantha, how are we doing today?
Pretty good.
Good?
Yeah.
How's the new job?
Oh, well, I don't start for a few more weeks, so I'm actually interviewing, which is really nice because I was here for like 6 months with no interviews, and all of a sudden it's happening right now. Bam, bam, wham. Although this one that I just interviewed for yesterday morning is in Maryland, so
Oh. And how would that work out?
I have no idea. Um, but I just don't want to take anything off the table because of geography.
Right.
Obviously, I moved to Seattle the second after I graduated from Texas because I want to be back in Seattle. But I don't know. Should I stick with a part-time job in Seattle, or would I move for a full-time job in Maryland? I just don't know. And Eric, the boyfriend, really does not want me to move, which that's been going interestingly. The other night we had like this huge crying conversation where I told him all this stuff that I was really frustrated about, and how I felt about things, and like the status of our relationship. And then that seemed to go fairly well. And as soon as he left, I wrote him like a 4-page email, kind of delineating my thoughts and feelings, and he hasn't responded to it yet. But I've seen him since then. He just hasn't responded to my email. So I don't know what that really means. But
And how many days ago was that?
well, I guess it's been like almost 3 days since I wrote him the email. But we hung out yesterday and went to a soccer game.
You didn't bring it up either?
Well, since I wrote him an email, I know when he's ready to proceed with that conversation, he'll write me an email back.
Is it easier to have that conversation as an email?
Well, we had that like breakdown crying conversation, and it went fairly well, but it is easier to make sure you hit all the topic points in a Word document.
True. Does it correctly convey your feelings, or do you correctly interpret his feelings that way?
Well, it's like really blunt, these emails. So I think he definitely knows, especially after that conversation, how I'm feeling, and he'll probably write back to me, I think, in the same manner, one way or the other. But
What were the talking points of the email? I mean, was it? It's just sounding to me like there was an ultimatum offered. That's the interpretation I'm getting. Was that how it went?
Well, I didn't necessarily put an ultimatum on the table, but things have to change before if we're going to move forward. Because at this point, I'm done. Like, I don't care either way. Something just has to change, and it's either we're going to break up or our relationship has to change. And one of the big talking points of the email was like our sex relationship, because we really don't have sex ever anymore. We haven't had, like, we've been together 6 years and we haven't had sex basically in 5 years. I mean, we do, but no. And I'm like his first real girlfriend, so I'm like the first girl he ever had sex with, but he's like not my first. So I don't know if that's part of it, but yeah, he just definitely does not. Every time he touches me, I'm angry because he doesn't know what he's doing. And when I ask him for feedback, he'll never tell me feedback. And when I try to give him feedback, he just ignores it. And I'm really done.
That's a very big part of a relationship, and I think that's a valid concern. You say, like, when you give him feedback, he doesn't take it. Have you considered the way you give feedback? I mean, I know you've said that you're very blunt and you're very forward. just know in my personal experience that there are some people who don't respond well to that, and they take it more as criticism. Is that an option? Is that a possibility?
I mean, I don't think so because I don't do it so harshly. And if we're in the middle of doing it and I say, hey, maybe like this, wouldn't you give it a try like that? I don't know. And I'm always asking him what he likes, and he never responds to me. So if I'm asking what he likes, then he should get the. I feel like that should just add on top of the idea that maybe some consideration about what I might like might be part of the conversation.
That question should come back to you.
Yeah.
You say when he touches you, you're just automatically angry, but you're also seem to be very frustrated and angry that he's also not touching you.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's just like because I want him to. I want us to have more sex, but then, we'll be cuddling, and all of a sudden he'll just place a hand on my boob, just out of nowhere. And we've been cuddling for an hour and a half, and it's just like, oh, now I'm going to attack you for the sex. And I just feel like he doesn't consider how I might be feeling or the appropriate arousal or just I like mental stimulation too. And it's just like, now we will have a sex toy, and I just don't like it. So I get angry, even though I want to be having sex with him.
Do you instigate it?
Yeah, the other night I texted him like, oh, I'm so horny, you should come over right now after work. And he was just like, meh, I'm tired. And, it's weird.
In those situations when you are on the couch and you've been cuddling for an hour and a half, and, do you ever instigate it in those instances? Do you ever take the lead and be like, hey,
no, because I really don't feel like that's the appropriate time to start having sex. If we've started cuddling, we've settled in to watch a movie, don't touch me now, I'm in the middle of the movie. Why are we going to stop 30 minutes before the movie's done so you can, play with me? No. I don't like it like that, so no.
But if you send him a text message and says, drop everything you're doing and come service me, where is the differentiation?
Well, then he actually kind of likes it like that, it would have seemed like, because he won't ever tell me how he's.
So you're just trying to feel him out to see what he likes and what he doesn't like?
Partially, yeah.
So when he just randomly puts his hand on your boob an hour into a movie,
yeah.
Do you stop to say, like, hey, I'm watching a movie right now, let's wait, or, that's so sweet that you're interested, I'm interested in this?
Normally,
how does he learn that you are uninterested in that situation?
Feel like we've been together for so long, every time he tries to do this in the middle of a movie after we've been cuddling for 90 minutes and I never am into it, you would learn. And if I'm telling you, no, not now, we're watching something, I think you would get it.
You can think that, but that's not always the case. As a person who likes to be very blunt and very forward, could it be that he's just used to that from you, and now in this particular area of your life together, you're not being very blunt and straightforward with him, and his wires are getting crossed, and it's...
Well, he does get that a lot from me, but it's not like this particular time, because this would have been true 4 years ago or 2 years ago. It's not true just because he's in Seattle and I've been talking to Chris.
And how's that going?
That's interesting. It's nice to have him kind of as a backup, even though I'm way more attracted to Eric. but Chris is way more intellectually stimulating, and he knows how to like turn my mind on, versus Eric doesn't.
Let's explore that in our next session. It was great to talk to you.